Okay, Mark Walsh here from the Embodied Facilitator course. Slightly weird angle today on the video. We're going to look at embodiment in a chair. So crazy, why would we do that? A number of my students and myself work in the corporate world, and sometimes sort of jumping around kind of embodiment that might be ideal in some ways isn't cool, and we have to do a whole training in a boardroom, or people want to sit in chairs for some of the practice, at least at the beginning. So I want to show you how you can do that. Totally possible, done it for years. Also, wheelchair users, of course, and have a wheelchair handy, but basically the same principles, working in a chair. And one of my students at the moment has a broken foot. She just did an entire Embodied Facilitator course module in a chair, so it's definitely possible. So Sabine, going out to you as well. So I've had this requested, thought it was long overdue. So basic principles are exactly the same, awareness and choice, yeah? So awareness, how am I? How am I sitting? Yeah, am I sitting like this? Am I sitting like this? Am I sitting like this or like this? Basic principles are the same, like how much space am I taking up? You know, am I forwards and more back? Yeah, I mean, you've got it all there. Now, chair, one of my teachers, Paul Linden, says is a tool of political oppression. He's kind of half joking when he says that, in that it can take out a lot of the sensation. You know, half of us is kind of out of action a lot of the time in a chair, so it can be in that way not ideal in a sense for embodiment type work. I'll often get people to stand up in exercises to start moving around, but there's lots we can do because that basic principles there. Actually, you could just work with a hand. You know, you could work with someone who's paralyzed. One of my videos, a 10-second video, I show embodiment just with a hand. I did this on Facebook Live yesterday. So for example, to be extended, to be collapsed, and to be tense. Just with a hand you can do that, yeah? To be collapsed, tense, extended. Actually, it's hard to do it just with a hand because it spreads, that's how embodiment works. But yeah, you know, you don't need much physically. You know, you can just do exercise with the eyes, with the breath. So you can do all of those things in a chair with the arms. You can do the kind of spine stuff that we might do for yin and yang, for example. Centering, totally possible in a chair, absolutely. Instead of just saying feel your feet on the ground, I'll say feel your feet on the ground and your bum in the chair and your back against the back of the chair. That can be really helpful. For postural stuff, for meditation, or for centering, I often say sit right back in the chair, or if people are shorter, right at the front of the chair. Yeah, that way they're likely to be more straight, rather than if you're in the middle, what happens is the pelvis tends to tip, and that becomes a comfortable position, which unless we're encouraging a more yin shape, even then it's a bit collapsed. So this is the key thing is the pelvic alignment. In terms of sitting up straight, that really comes from the pelvis. So, you know, you can't, people try and sit up on the head, but it's that movement, if we show it from the side. So from pelvis, quick adjustment, pelvis back, I'm going to slump, yeah, to pelvis forwards. So, yeah, with more liberal groups, I'll say, classic Paul Linden one, his one is imagine you're sticking your penis in warm chicken soup and the bowl is here. Now, obviously you've got to be careful who you say that with. Most corporate groups, not so much. And also it does work with people without penises, interestingly enough. So, chairs, there you go. What else? So centering work, feet flat on the ground. So often you'll see people, the feet kind of at this angle, which is more kind of cortisol building, less kind of helpful for a lot of embodied work. So usually there. The problem is chairs are all one size and some people aren't. It's just the political oppression thing again. So this chair is actually pretty good height for me, and then my hip is a little higher, than my knee. Yeah, if I was tall, it'd be up here, and if I was too short, I'd have to get in kind of the front for that to happen. So using pillows if that's helpful, not because we're trying to be like, you know, postural adjustment experts, but just as difficult to align the body so we can then relax the body if those things are like way off. Yeah, feet flat on the floor. Obviously I have shoes on, but yeah, there's that. 4 elements work. You can do a whole 4 element session in the chair very easily. Again, we could just work with the eyes or the breath or the hands. You know, all those are potentially workable with, right? In posture, you know, earth, feet flat on the floor, palms down. So my voice drops. Feeling my feet, making my feet parallel, nice square earthly structure. Air, rising up out of the chair, coming away from the back of the chair, moving the palms up, kind of having that upwards lift in the spine. Even if the legs are still just dangling on the chair, that's still there. I can move the legs around, do a kind of airy, creative thing as well. Water, palms open, palms forwards, arms to the side, coming back. So for this one, I might want to tilt my pelvis that way. Yeah, opening the feet up a little bit, making a more kind of open kind of shape. Softening the body, softening the jaw. Fire, coming forwards, leaning on the armrest, leaning on the body, having that sense of fire going directly forwards. And we use a lot of hand gestures. So with air, we might do this. With fire, we might do this. No, yes. Squares for earth. One of my students even suggested drawing with a pencil around a square, or an airy shape or a fiery shape. So, we can use desk in front of us with that. Hitting on the desk, softening the desk. Thing with embodiment is if you're working with principles rather than here's a technique I photocopied from my teacher. If you're working with principles, then you're going to be able to adapt to anything. So, with wheelchairs, wheeling in the room, what's the quality of your wheeling with your arms rather than walking, right? So instead of saying push from the back foot to get more fire, I say push with the arms. Yeah, and then for air, it might be, turn more, use the fingertips with the thing. With water, it might be really feel the tyres, really soften and blend with that as you move forwards rhythmically. Yeah, does it make sense? Once we get the idea of centering, of 4 elements, any yin yang, any other models we're working with, it doesn't really matter if someone's in a chair or a wheelchair or a fucking hammock or whatever, and we can just work with it. So there's a few little things on how to work with a chair. Awareness and choice, basic principles. If you didn't understand the centering stuff or the 4 element stuff, just YouTube my name and those things. Normal stuff, please subscribe. Loads of videos coming out at the moment. Please share. Spread the stuff around, and what else? Comment, questions. Always likes to see them. Cheers.